Decision 2020, the final hours of voting across Siouxland. What does the night have in store? We have live Team 4 coverage on the races that are important to you, looking at voting today and the hundreds of thousands of votes already cast. Live from Signal Hill, this is a special edition of News 4 Live at 5, Decision 2020, Election Night.
Election Day is here, and tonight voters are deciding what path the country will take for the next 4 years. Millions of Americans have already voted, but on Election Day, turnout is high as people are joining long lines to cast their ballots and make their voices heard. Good evening, everyone, and happy Election Day. I'm Stella Daskalakis.
And I'm Matt Breen. Americans tonight are not just voting for a president, they're also voting on hundreds of important down-ballot races.
Issues like recreational and medical marijuana, casino gambling at horse racing tracks in Nebraska, and the balance of power in the United States Senate will be decided. We have Decision 2020 Team 4 coverage with our reporters scattered across all 3 Siouxland states.
We're going to start in Iowa. In Iowa, there are several races that we're watching very, very closely tonight. KTIV's Michaela Feldman is tracking voter turnout here in Sioux City. She joins us with Live Link 4. Michaela, what are you seeing?
Matt, we've been here at the Morningside Library for about 3 hours now and have continued to see people steadily stream in. Just a few moments ago, the line actually out the door. And while we hear about the sheer number of people absentee voting this year because of the pandemic, it seems like a lot of people are turning out in person this year as well. Now, many of the people I've spoken with say this year seems more critical than ever before to cast their ballots. Another interesting aspect, all of the poll workers at this location are new this year. This is the first time they've worked an election.
Because we knew there was going to be a need this year. That's pretty much it. We are not surrounded by a bunch of people that are carriers. We can pretty much stay to ourselves, so we thought this was a good opportunity to take the place of other people who have a lot more obligations than we do at this point.
She says this has been a great experience this year and actually might take part in future elections as well. Workers say they expect to continue seeing people file in throughout the night to cast their ballots. Stella.
All right, Michaela, thank you. We're also watching the votes come in neighboring Plymouth County. That's where we find KTIV's Emily Schrod. Emily.
Yes, Stella, I'm here at the Lamar's Convention Center where polling officials tell me they've had a good number of voters coming in and out all day. Now, officials also say that they've seen a lot of first-time and new voters as well coming through their polling station. Carolyn Vance, the 12th precinct chairman for the Plymouth County, says absentee ballots have played a large role in the election this year, with the number of absentee ballots higher than ever. She says they saw a good rush in the morning hours when folks were headed off to work and then saw the traffic slow down a bit.
And then now we picked up again, but because of all the absentee voting that has gone on, we haven't been near as busy as we would normally.
And the polling stations here are actually apart, and they say that they are being cleaned in between each voters as well. We'll have more from the Lamar's polling station tonight on News 4 at 6. Back to you.
Emily Schrod, thanks for that live report. Now, Northwest Iowa tends to be the most conservative corner of the state. In fact, Sioux County, 72% of active registered voters are Republicans. KTIV's Claire Bradshaw is in Sioux Center tonight with a look at voter turnout there. Claire?
Matt, election officials told me today that even before polls opened this morning, there was a line down through the parking lot here in Sioux Center. And since then, they say it's been a steady stream of voters coming through these doors. One election official told me she's seen a good number of people come in to surrender their absentee ballots to vote in person today. Overall, here in Sioux Center, the turnout numbers are impressive to election officials.
Honestly, I didn't think we would be as busy as we were because of a large amount of absentee ballots, but it has been overwhelming. A lot of people. I couldn't give you a number. I just know everyone is really energized to come out and vote.
Election officials told me that if you're planning on coming in to vote after work, expect possibly a 15-minute wait, just like everybody else is going to be coming in for these final hours. Live in Sioux Center, I'm Claire Bradshaw, KTIV News 4.
Claire, thank you. After South Dakota voters make their choice for president and U.S. Senate, they then turn to a pair of ballot questions about marijuana. One would legalize medical marijuana. Another would okay recreational marijuana. South Dakotans soundly defeated medical marijuana 8 years ago, but a lot has changed. Neighboring North Dakota and Minnesota both allow it. South Dakota's marijuana ballot measure is one of the races that we're following very closely tonight. KTIV's Libby Randall is watching the votes as they come in at the Union County Courthouse in Elk Point. She's with LiveLink 4 with more. Libby?
Matt, I got the chance to talk to Union County Auditor Jackie Sieverding as soon as I got here about a couple hours ago. She said that there's been a clear pattern of voters coming in throughout the day, upticks at the beginning of the day and, of course, now as we are nearing the end of the day. Union County residents say one of the biggest topics on the ballot this year had to do with marijuana legalization. Many have said they want to cast their ballot in this particular election to ensure their voice is heard. Sieverding says they saw a steady flow of voters come in through this morning, but it slowed down significantly since around 10 a.m.
We have an absentee polling place here, so we're counting all the absentees, which consist of about 4,500 absentees. So I have a board up here that are opening those and get those ready so that we can count them tonight. It's been pretty constant.
Sieverding said she and the rest of her staff expect this uptick this evening to continue until polls are closed as various residents continue to get out of work and come through to cast their ballots. Now, of course, we will continue to keep you updated on voter turnout here in Union County. For now, live in Elk Point, South Dakota, Libby Randall, KTIV News 4.
Libby, thanks. There is a lot more election news coming up, including we'll have the very latest on one of the most closely watched races in the entire country. It's right here in Iowa.
Plus, we have a look at a ballot measure in Nebraska which could bring casino gambling to horse racing tracks. We'll be right back.